The USC record mirrored the national trend with graduation success rates up 2 percentage points for Division I athletes. 81% of all USC athletes are graduating. This is a 4% increase from last year, when only 77% of athletes were getting their diplomas. The prize for most improved goes to the men's basketball team. 15% more players graduated this year compared to 2014.
Us players came the same year 2 years ago, same as the coaching staff with Coach Andy Enfield and all the other guys. So we really wanted to turn around the program, not just on the court, but also off the court. So Coach Enfield put a lot of emphasis to do academics work.
Our sports anchor Scott Cook is sitting down with the Senior Associate Athletic Director to talk about the student-athletes' achievement. Scott?
Thanks, Kelly. I'm here with Dr. Magdi El-Shahawi. And Doctor, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So the USC athletic graduation rates are at an all-time high, which is obviously great news. And Doctor, could you tell us a little bit about what the athletic department is doing, to help boost student effort in the classroom?
Sure, Scott. Well, first and foremost, this starts with a clear message coming from our athletic director about making sure our student athletes get a true college experience. Not only are they competing in the courts, on the fields, in the pool, but that they're going to compete in the classroom and get a degree and use the 4 years that they're here to prepare for the next 44 years of their life and beyond. Over the 15 years I've been here, we've more than doubled the size of our academic services staff for student athletes, adding more counselors, more learning specialists, all there to help make sure the student athletes are transitioning well from high school to college and doing well in classroom, monitoring their progress, communicating to coaches. And our coaches have done a great job of holding our student athletes accountable and getting that message from the administration we're set to them that that's their jobs and they get evaluated from that. And then again, in the last 3 years with the new Stevens Academic Center, we have a great home for our student athletes to study and spend their time getting the services that they can to help them in the classroom.
Well, that's great. And you just told me of all the USC teams here, the women's basketball team actually made the biggest jump in percentage rates. Can you maybe explain to us why the women hoopsters did so well?
Yeah, both men's and women's basketball have done a great job. Their cohorts are small. Typically, basketball doesn't bring as many people, so when you have 1 or 2 people make it or not make it, that can sway graduation rates quite a bit. And in the latter part of the last decade, we've really seen great progress and great commitment from our student athletes in both sports. And on the women's side, we have a 100% graduation rate, which is top in the conference. And the men's basketball graduation rate, 82%, stands very well nationally. And we only expect more from them.
Yeah, those are, pretty good rates, especially in basketball, a sport that, a lot of guys leave early due to the NBA or women for the WNBA. Now, speaking a little bit about the football team now, they came in last in terms of percentage rates. What do you think about that? Do you think guys leaving for the NFL has a lot to do with those percentages?
Well, clearly, that's our biggest barrier at USC. Being an institution, you look at the cohorts from 2005 to 2008, from which the current GSR is comprised of, and those are student athletes who are competing on teams that have won not a national championship, but a Pac-12 championship every year they're here. And even the 2008 cohort, at least one won their freshman year. And there's a lot of high caliber student athletes that have the opportunity to play in the NFL. And when you look at the graduation rates for football, we had 41 of 71 graduate. Of the 30 that did not, 22 made NFL rosters. And we've had 4 come back and graduate after the 6-year window who unfortunately cannot count for our graduation rates. And there's still 10 more that are competing that are within a semester of graduation. And we're still in touch with a lot of them, trying to get them to come back. And if they do, that graduation rate, even though it won't be published for the NCAA, will be at 82%. And the thing we have is a mantra, you're a Trojan for life, and regardless of whether you count for our graduation rates or not, we're going to continue to work with you until you finish what you started.
Well, that's great, and we can hopefully see those graduation rates go up in the next couple of years. And again, Doctor, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
All right, back to you at the desk.